into the conversation, let's talk the healthcare system of Nigeria.
Healthcare.
Yes. Oskoyi, what do you think is happening there? Because we hear stories every day, like terrible, terrible stories, man.
So people in Nigeria die for baseless reasons. I'll be honest, people don't realize how bad it is, but it's bad. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. It's really, really, really bad. So we
are. Say that a few more times.
We're all sitting ducks, basically. One of the prayers, you know, that anybody should pray should be that let me or any of my loved ones never ever have an emergency. Yeah, because if you have an emergency, there's like an 80% chance that.
These negative parts that has happened in your career, which one stands out for you? I know it might be a little bit dicey, if that's the word I'm looking for. Like, it's not like I want you to go into something you've chosen to forget, but for people that are watching and people who want to tour the same path as yourself, what has happened there, and how did you overcome it?
For me, I would say it's a loss of privacy, and it's not anything you really overcome. It's something that you just learn to live with. I'm a very private person.
Oh, okay.
I am, so that part is a bit difficult because...
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Hold on, a private person. I'm trying, in my head now, I'm moving through the files of actors and actresses. I'm trying to see if we've had any scandal with Kiki. Actually, we haven't. Woo, high five.
There you go.
Boy, this because I'm hearing you talk about the fact that you like what you do, you have the passion for it and everything. Let's talk the financial aspect now. Is it fulfilling?
Financially?
Yeah.
Well, if I were being honest, in the beginning, no, it's not. And that's because you're not really a known face. You don't really have any bargaining power.
But
so you just want to get your face out there. You just want to... But yeah, with time and with the more projects you do and with more popularity, then yeah, your bargaining power increases. Yeah. And then you become a working actor. What I mean by that is you're actually constantly working.
Okay.
So yes, you do make enough money to be able to get by and pay your bills and take a vacation once in a while.
Okay, because I'm thinking of a career in Nollywood. So how much were you paid for your last role?
You know I'm not going to talk about that. We're talking camera.
Okay, let me just ask you this, man. What do you think Nollywood can do to be better? You know, look at hold on. Let me give you a little backstory. Look at the whole brouhaha that's happened with the whole Genevieve film, and this one being better. This one, you're a practitioner 8 years in the game. You understand? If it was up to you, what would you do and what would you do? What wouldn't you do just to make sure this industry is better? Because there is a lot of buzz around Nollywood right now. We are seeing more international collaborations. We are seeing international actors coming in to play characters here and everything. So what would you think? What would you do?
To be honest, right? Yeah. I feel like, because I mean, I'm not just an actor, I'm a producer now.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot that we have to offer. There are many people who have the know-how, and we have these stories to tell, right? Yeah. But I feel like this climb is not very friendly to certain kinds of movies. The reason I say that is because if you're a producer and you've ever tried to take your film to the cinema, the experience that you're going to have might probably be one that will make you say, I probably don't want to go the cinema route anymore.
Okay.
It's very difficult many times to even get your film into the cinema, regardless of how good it might be, because maybe it's not a certain genre of film, or because they feel like maybe the film is not packed full of popular faces. So when I see people complain about things like that on Twitter, I realize that the only reason they're complaining is because they don't understand what the producers go through. So when producers have been through certain things, when they produce again, they want to make sure that all those things that were a problem with their first production, they don't repeat it with the second one. So that's why I see so many comedies in the cinema. I see so many films with, you know, packed full of popular faces. It's because they face problems when trying to get their films into the cinema, if this is not the case, right? Also, Nigerian films have a problem with not staying very long in the cinema. If a film doesn't stay long in the cinema, it's not very likely that the producer is going to be able to recoup their money. Unfortunately, you find Nigerian films doing 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the cinema. How much money can you possibly make in that time?
What's the right duration? Like, how long?
The truth is, for as long as a film is okay. For instance, the film I saw this year, it's called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it this year. That film came out last year.
You did?
Yes.
The Queen story?
2018.
Oh, wow.
Came out last year.
Wait, are you serious?
2018.
I saw it this year too now.
Came out last year. And it's still very much playing in cinemas in the US, even up till now. Even though you might not have like the big box office or whatever. But I mean, there are a few cinemas here because a film is supposed to be able to... I'm not blaming the cinema operators because we don't have a lot of cinemas. So they can't afford to keep... because there are more films. So it's just a vicious cycle. There's so many things going on. So I think I'll probably change that. Maybe if we had community theaters, that might solve the problem. Also, something else I think I might change is royalties. For actors.
For actors. After the film, after you've been paid for appearing in the film. Wait, are you saying that doesn't happen here?
No, it doesn't happen.
So Nigerian actors don't have royalties?
Nigerian actors are paid basically as a one-off for production, and then you just completely forget about it and move on to the next one. And then even if 10 years later that production is still airing, nothing by way of royalties.
Wait, that is serious? That is like 2019. This still happens?
That is something else I would change. Another thing I will probably change would be, I mean, when filming, for instance, when I was on location from my film, Run, it was a film that was shot mostly at night, and it had mostly exterior scenes, so I had to shoot on the road in the middle of the night. And I had to have police security with me to kind of protect us from the owners of the ground. So, I mean, if we had like a film village, or, I wouldn't have to worry about things like that. I'll be sure that we are secure, we are safe. Producers have to go around looking for, locations to be able to film. If we had a film village, or like a big studio. Yeah, so those are the problems that we face. Problems of power. You're shooting a film, somebody's generator sound is just, and then people watch the film, they're really upset that, why is the sound so bad? But they don't realize what you've had to go through.
Just to get that.
If you decide to get rid of the sound entirely and do like audio digital replacements, that one is another problem on its own. There's a lot. There's a lot.
I feel like if I allow you, you just keep mentioning
there is a lot.
I'm really surprised that actors like in Nigeria in 2019, in this year and time and decade, still do not have royalties.
No royalties.
Because even in music now, the whole thing has changed.
No royalties in Hollywood. Quote me anywhere.
No royalties in Hollywood. Man, I find that really hard to believe, man. So everybody should fix up, man, in Hollywood.
Well, so... the truth is, if royalties are going to be enforced, right, then actors need a body that will actually fight
on their behalf.
Something
like cushion for the musicians. Wait, we don't have that for actors, man.
Well, we have a guild.
But the guild story is another one for another. It's one for another day. So I understand. I understand beyond how you even said. I understand it. But I feel like all these things should not be happening. And
well, there's a lot of things happening in Nigeria that should not be happening.
But
so yeah.
You survive now.
Well, barely. barely.
Okay. All right. So we've been talking to Kiki Omeili. Kiki, I know you had a short film in 2016.
Yes, I did. It was called Unprotected.
Unprotected. And now this film, Run. I think I saw the poster and it was you. About to
running.
So what's this film about? Who is in it? Well, you produced it. It's your film.
Yeah, okay, I wrote and produced it.
Okay.
It's called Run. It was in cinemas in August/September.
Okay.
It tells the story of this young lady who basically never minds her business and just goes around poking her nose into everybody else's business.
Basically, I'm a ball.
Yeah, she's a busybody.
Nah, not busybody. There's a busybody and I'm a ball. They are two different things. You understand? Okay.
Yeah, so she goes running one night and then she witnesses something that just changes. She just changes everything because now she's on the run.
She's on the run, okay.
And she's just trying to get her life back to normal. And because this lady is a certain way, she keeps poking her nose, into people's business as she goes along instead of, trying to get help. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. It takes place over the space of one night.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So there's a lot of things that happen. She encounters all kinds of characters. So yeah, that's basically Run in a nutshell. But it's very entertaining.
Who's in the film apart from yourself?
Apart from me, there's ONG, the comedian. There's Gregory. I love ONG. I love ONG. Okay. There's Kelechi Udegwe.
Okay.
There's Gregory Jeffwa.
Oh, yeah.
Rotimi Fakunle. And a host of others.
Oh, it was in cinemas between August. So
August
it's no
and September. No, it's not longer in
cinemas.
cinemas.
But how come
no.
with people who did see it then?
Okay, well, I'm going to get you another platform.
Yeah, but before, let's sneak this into the conversation. Let's talk the healthcare system of Nigeria.
Healthcare.
Yes. Oskoyi, what do you think is happening there? Because we hear stories every day, like terrible stories, man. And I know you practiced for a while.
I did, yeah.
You practiced for a while, so you have a little bit of experience in that.
I have a lot of experience.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. You have a lot of.
I have a lot of experience.
Like
both
20 years.
That's funny. So yeah, Nigerian healthcare system. If people knew how bad it was, I think we might wake up concerning certain things.
How bad is it?
So people in Nigeria die for baseless reasons. The things that maybe abroad would be like a day procedure. Like you'd come from your house and go to the hospital, get it done and go back home. Those are the things that people die for in Nigeria. Okay. If, for instance, someone were to have, there's something called deep vein thrombosis. That's like a clot that travels from like the deep veins up to the heart or the lungs and kills the person in question. Okay, so if you have discovered that this is what you have, right, abroad, there's something you can do about it. Like, you know that's what it is. They use like an imaging system and they use a catheter and they get that clot out. Oh, okay. But in Nigeria, we have no such thing. So even if you were to be aware that that was your situation, you would literally just be looking at it until it kills you. Oh, wow. So yeah, that's just one of many. We talked about the whole bed space system. I even have colleagues, doctors, who had maybe like a health emergency. I remember a colleague of mine who was in an accident and he was rushed to a government hospital regardless of the fact that he was a doctor.
He passed?
He didn't pass. He's alive, thank God. But he was told there was no bed space, that he should go to, because he had a broken leg, he should go to Igbobi. He now took, many of my classmates calling one person, calling. Until finally they were able to call someone that knew the CMD of that hospital, so he was admitted. So now here's the catch. When he was admitted and his blood pressure was taking, it was so low that if he had actually, because he was losing blood. Yeah, so if he had actually left that hospital and gone to wherever they said he should go, he would have probably died. Yeah, and I'm talking to practitioners, so the reason I keep talking about practitioners is because in the healthcare system, doctors are supposed to have some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Preferential treatment. Okay. So I'm saying, if someone who's supposed to have preferential treatment is treated like that,
and how about the
non-doctors? Yeah. So it's really bad. And another friend of mine told me about how his brother had a heart attack, and we were rushed to a government hospital. And when he got there, they were told that there was no bed space. And then somebody who was working in the hospital walked up to him and said, "You know what? Just find me something. Somebody here will soon die. I'll keep the space for you." Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was looking at the guy like, "You can't be serious."
But the person was dead serious.
15 minutes later, somebody died. And he came to him and he said, "Shebi, I tell you." So yeah, that's what we are dealing with.
So
people,
they keep time clocks for.
I'll be honest. People don't realize how bad it is, but it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. So we are.
Say that a few more times.
We are all sitting ducks, basically. One of the prayers, that anybody should pray should be that let me or any of my loved ones never ever have an emergency. Yeah, because if you have an emergency, there's like an 80% chance that. I don't want to depress anybody, but this is the sad. It's the sad reality, of having a healthcare emergency in Nigeria. And I remember when a certain someone was asked about the mass exodus of doctors and what could be done, to prevent doctors from leaving, and he said we had surplus doctors in Nigeria. Sad. And when I spoke about that, you know what someone said? Someone said, "Oh, Kiki, if anybody should be talking, it shouldn't be you after you're not practicing medicine." And I'm like, what does practicing medicine have to do with the fact that the healthcare system is bad and doctors are leaving the country?
It's terrible. And,
so, yeah.
Kiki, like I said, I've said it a couple of times that if we have the time, we'll be here till like 6, man, just kicking it about different issues. So thank you very, very much for coming through. So quickly, tell me your plans for the future. You've put out Run. Are you working on
I am going to put out a couple,
For the end of the year?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No, because there's a lot that goes into making a film. They say to make a great film, you need 3 things: the script, and the script. So I'm not trying to tell just any other kind of random story. I want stories that actually make a difference. Stories that people watch and, you know, they go home with something. Yeah, I like that. You don't just feel like, oh, I've wasted my time sitting down here. No, so... Yeah, it's something I'll take my time to do. But yeah, I do have plans for my next feature film.